Hello everyone, my name is Sarah Ritt. I'm an artist and a tarot reader, and today's reading to me it feels dramatically different from the last reading. So we just keep shifting and shifting and shifting and turning and making progress for ourselves. So what I'm seeing this time around is that we're actually looking out on our the word that I'm getting is our vulnerability, our past fear and anxiety. That's a good way to put it. We're looking out on that, having moved through it. And so we're looking out on the one hand, and on the other, we're looking forward, having triumphed over it. And so there's a lot of fire going on here in this reading. So a lot of the rods and wands element, they're the same. And I feel like that's very fitting because I believe today is the full moon in Sagittarius, which is a fire sign. And fire speaks to expansion and personal freedom and growth and adventure and all those wonderful things that give us life force and renewed energy. So I'm really feeling that in this reading. So the way this reads is, first we have Nine of Wands. Now this is, and I do feel like Gemma at Gemstone Tarot points this out, it's a guarded energy. And I for sure feel that, you know, this soldier is looking out. I realize he's actually looking back at the past, so the stuff that he's come through. And he's actually looking at this energy reversed. So Nine of Swords, it speaks to all of that. And what's coming to me too is collective and individual anxiety, you know, because we're going through so much collectively. So swords are air. They speak to the territory of the mind, all the things that go on within our mind's eye. And interesting, this is something that I'm learning about with the mind and kind of the gymnastics that it takes us through. I've been contending with my own personal mental gymnastics. We're not always able to see it. And so this is an energy that speaks to being lost in anxiety, really not being able to see the forest for the trees. I feel as if in the reverse position, this is actually a very direct, yeah, but we've gotten over it, you know, or we've moved past, or we've turned a corner for ourselves in some way. And this energy is looking out and reflecting on that. So again, I feel like progress is being made, and this is the present energy, right? And this is what we've come through. And this energy is paired with more fire, with Six of Rods, Six of Wands. So this is an energy that speaks to pride and to triumph. You know, there's the wreath that symbolizes victory. There is, this guy is literally on a high horse. So there is that kind of lofty energy to this as well. Now, interesting too, that these two energies are looking in opposite directions. And so I feel like there's another very direct message that says we're looking forward, we're looking ahead. It's kind of like on to bigger and better things. I think that's what I'm getting. Whereas maybe this is also just where I'm coming from with these two energies together. There's a bit of a feeling of, what's coming to me is, why were we even ever afraid, you know? Or how could we have felt so vulnerable? I feel like maybe the only message I have there in response to that is, it's also really important that we go easy on ourselves and allow that vulnerability. Interesting, because I've just come from listening to Brené Brown, who's this really wonderful woman that speaks very directly to vulnerability and the power of that. And whereas this energy can really lose all perspective, you know, there is also that vulnerability to it, and that it's okay that we were here. You know, I think that's what I'm getting at more than anything, because this guarded energy says, why were we even here? Maybe there wasn't a reason. And it's almost as if we question that in being so closed, and in maybe in just really wanting to look forward primarily, you know? So it's kind of like these are two sides of the same coin, but this guy's looking back and this guy's looking forward. And what I want to say is, it's okay that we were here, you know, and it's excellent that we don't have to stay here, but it's okay that we were feeling this fear or this pain or this sadness. I know I've been there. I know I've come through this as much as the rest of you have come through this energy as well. So it was actually necessary that we be here before we progress to this. You know, we kind of had to move through this energy, allow it, and then put it behind us. And going forward, there's also a really wonderful continuation of this more fiery energy with 4 of Wands. So this is a very celebratory energy, and it's on its head here, and I feel like that's because whereas this is speaking directly to, yeah, we were here and now we're not, this is speaking to, this is upcoming energy. So we're primarily in victory, you know, we're feeling this sense of triumphing over something. And that's very powerful. And then it's like there's going to be a continued celebration of what we've achieved here. You know, a continued celebration of this. So it's kind of like, or I should say what we've achieved here, you know, that these two are kind of a piece. So it's just going to be an extension of this feeling of victory as this celebratory energy continues to unfold. So that's really, really lovely. And I feel like we should be celebrating, and we have every right to celebrate our triumph. Yeah, and then the artwork that I pulled, also interesting, because I feel like so often this energy, it's so scattered looking, right? It signifies this chaos that we as a solid unit are looking out on. To me, this feels actually very 9 of Wands. So this is a soldier that's done battle, and that's my understanding. He's ready to move on. And this feels like a battle scene that we've come through, you know? So we're looking out on it. We're looking out on it, and we're also solid and a bit closed. That's what I'm getting, you know? So we're looking out on what we've accomplished here. And then this energy has also come up for us in the last reading. There was that sense of going inward. And so it may be that this is still kind of an inward reflection, even as this energy feels very external to me. I almost feel like this is the counterpart to the tarot cards. You know, there's still this reflection of internal growth, internal reflection, you know, that we still have that internal awareness of what we've come through, what it was about. Maybe that's what we're still determining also, you know. We have a sense of what this energy that we moved through was about. This is also maybe a further reflection on that, you know. And I feel like with this purple energy, this to me speaks so directly to third eye and metaphysical awareness, you know, and it's pointed down, and I feel like we're centered here. This is very centered energy, you know. white also, to me, it speaks to that spiritual divinity. It speaks to kind of that all-encompassing knowing that we all have the ability to tap into. And then here it's kind of centered and pointed in. Kind of feels like, yeah, inward reflection. So, so outwardly, you know, we're feeling this. And maybe we're even guarding some of this, because this is also maybe a softer or more vulnerable way to be. You know, there is that sense of going within and reflecting, being kind of a yin energy, you know. Fire feels very yang, you know, and this is all fire. This is all fire. And then this actually feels like it could be, yeah, maybe more watery. But there's just a softness here to this. So self-reflection is still in progress. That's what I'm getting. I'm getting that here too. You know, self-reflection here, looking out on what we've come through, the chaos of what we've come through, and then going inward. And then here we have, what I'm getting here is new growth. So very interesting. I feel as if the artwork feels like the internal workings. Whereas, again, this is such an external stance. You know, there's that feeling of done battle, achieved victory, you know. And this feels like, on the one hand, we're going to be celebrating. And there's growth here, too. I mean, all of the wands have growth coming out of them. That's also another interesting component here. But then here it is again more prominently. And so this, to me, this feels like the fruits of our labor. This feels like the expansion that we've been kind of wanting and craving, you know, and just wanting to achieve for ourselves. But in that past position, maybe feeling too lost or too afraid or too uncertain that we would maybe even be able to achieve this, you know, I mean, because if this energy is not being able to see the forest for the trees, this is the growth of the trees themselves, you know, and this is I feel like this is all of the beauty and essence of life. They're just, I'm really getting that energy of growth in and of itself, you know, and we've grown, we've expanded. And when we're here, this is also room for growth. This is also, we're not able to see it in the moment that we're lost in our fear or our uncertainty. We're not able to see or even register that growth is happening, but it is. And when we come through it, then we get to experience more fully that growth and expansion that we've been cultivating for ourselves. So this is a really lovely reading. I feel like, once again, we've come through a lot, and this is a period of time where we continue to have a lot on our plate, right? But in essence, we've come through a lot. We're reflecting on what we've come through, and we're also in the process of maybe just starting to do a little victory dance, and that energy is going to continue through this specific period of time. That's what I'm seeing. And then internally, there's still reflection. There's still looking back at what we've come through and all of the difficulty that we've come through. But there's also a place for our internal wisdom. We're also able to tune into that, like Abraham Hicks would say, that broader knowing, and really have a fuller sense of what we've come through, you know? So we're looking out on it on the one hand, and on the other, maybe we're able to see it as just a piece of the broader puzzle. And then going forward, we're going to be really, I do feel like, reaping the rewards, you know, really feeling a full harvest in terms of our growth and our expansion, and the joy in that, and the wealth of that. So yeah, happy harvesting, everyone. I hope that you all are having a lovely day. I hope that you found this reading helpful. And for those of you interested in supporting me and this channel in a monetary way, please check out my Patreon. The link is down below. And yeah, I will see you all again soon. Bye for now.